Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Simplified, a show that explains intense topic from around the world and simplifies it for you so that you can appear cooler in front of your friends.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's the new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and we are here to talk about football. That's what we do every day. I have Kevin joining me in the studio and Chiranjeev joining us via phone call. Now, before we enter into today's discussions, we just are 3 days away from the draws of FIFA Under-17 World Cup. How exciting is that, Kevin? I mean, I know we will definitely talk about it in detail when it comes out, but it's just like when you wake up, you're like, oh, 3 days to go, and you finally feel, okay, the excitement is, increasing in you because the World Cup is happening in India.
So close. We are getting so close. And an official draw, I hope we get to see that live.
Yeah.
So it's happening in Mumbai, and some sports personalities are expected, not necessarily football personalities.
Yeah, Sindhu is going to be there.
Yeah.
So today she turns 22, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now let's come back to what we have to talk about today. A lot of signings and a lot of other team news coming out. The first one we shall touch upon. Now, Atletico Madrid are going to pull back. I mean, they are no longer with the ATK team, the Kolkata ISL team. Now, Chiranjeev, this was on the cards because was it like a 3-year deal that they had, a contract?
Yeah, and doesn't seem like it's going to be renewed.
Okay.
Well, I think the reason Atletico de Madrid tied up with Atletico de Kolkata is they thought they could create some Atletico de Madrid fans in India. But I don't think, there have been many converts. See, that's the thing, people in Kolkata already have their minds made up, and the youth that are coming into European football now, I don't really think they'll look at Atletico de Madrid and think like, okay, this is a team I'm going to support straight away. Most go for EPL clubs anyway.
Yeah.
And when you're going into La Liga, you have Barcelona's and Real Madrid's. So that purpose has failed, and seriously, what did they really do? I mean, in 3 years, they did everything for Atletico de Kolkata. They provided facilities. They found foreign players for
coaches.
A discounted rate. They provided them with managers.
Yeah.
And most of the coaching team, most of the footballing side was seen over by Atletico de Madrid, and what is the end result? I don't think Atletico de Kolkata finished at the top of the table even a single time. They won the ISL twice by winning semi-finals and finals. I don't really think that matters much, and especially now that there are no more semi-finals and finals going forward. So yeah, ATK got 2 trophies out of it. They got really good facilities out of it. They even got even ISL got a lot of promotional mileage because, the first time ATK won the ISL, the team was strutted around in Atletico de Madrid's home ground with the trophy and everything. So ISL got some promotion out of it. Atletico de Kolkata got a lot of services out of it. I don't really see what Atletico de Madrid got out of it. So, they decided they're getting out.
Kevin, your quick thoughts on this?
Yes, there was this technical partnership that provided staff and players. The fan base creation was one of them, and trying to establish a brand, a Spanish brand in India. That's a way that clubs usually do tie-ups for, because it was more from Atletico Madrid to ATK rather than anything from this side. So pretty much, I think I would slightly disagree to Chiranjeev because getting a trophy of the ISL itself is something big, even though it's the format is such that you have to play the playoffs after the league is done. But in the end, it does matter. The prize money is there, the fame is there. 2 out of 3 titles is really not bad.
Yeah, now we'll have to see. I think there are some rumors going around that Manchester City are interested in having a small stake on this team. But how do you see that going, Chiranjit?
Well, we heard Liverpool were in talks, then we heard Tottenham were in talks, and now we're hearing Manchester City are in talks. So, everybody is coming in and having a talk with ATK owners. I don't really see this being any better for ATK than the Atletico de Madrid arrangement. Manchester City already have a good amount of brand presence in India, so maybe when if they come in and if they can get a little bit more mileage out of direct participation. But you have to remember that Manchester City are interested in outright owning clubs in other countries as well. It's the group that owns Manchester City. They got a team in A-League, Melbourne City. Then they got New York City FC.
Yeah.
And maybe they will take Atletico de Kolkata and turn it into Kolkata City FC or something like that, which may well happen. So yeah, it is kind of, I think, shows the lack of identity this particular Kolkata franchise in ISL has. First, Atletico de Madrid came, it was Atletico de Kolkata. Now it will probably change shirts and change identity just because the footballing side will be seen by some other foreign club. I'm still trying to see what is happening with this particular team and what is it trying to do and accomplish.
Okay, now we'll have to see what are the other news, attached to this, and we will keep updating you about this, what will now be called ATK, after this deal has been done with.
It'll be such weird news, the champions of ISL, the defending champions of ISL have the name, it's gone.
Yeah.
Who are the champions? ATK? No, ATK is gone now.
It's anyway a new league now, yeah. So it's going to be anyway a new league. Finally, the L means something now in ISL. Going ahead. Now, talking about Kolkata, let's look at the other team, other club from there. Now, this team we've talked about getting sponsors, but then we also said, okay, no more, it's not happening. But now once again, it's in the news that Mohun Bagan is to get sponsored to renovate the stadium.
Manchester City is coming?
Chiranjit,
so who is the sponsors here?
See, Mohun Bagan have been looking for sponsors for a while, right? Ever since the McDowell sponsorship broke up. So it's still a temporary solution, right? They have the Devashish Datta, who's the financial secretary of the club, came out and told the media that they found a new title sponsor who will provide 4 crores. And they will have their logo on the jersey, and that will start from the Calcutta League itself. So they will announce the name of the sponsor in a press conference, maybe in a couple of weeks. Mohun Bagan already had, literally the biggest sponsorship deal in Indian football. I think both Mohun Bagan and East Bengal share that. It used to be about 8.5 crore back then, but that was a long-term partnership. This, what they're looking for, is a short-term deal in a league which is already, destined to go out. It doesn't really matter how much you promote I-League now. Everybody knows that ISL will be the next top division. ISL will be better promoted. It's already better promoted, and ISL is gonna be the future of Indian football. So hardly anybody wants to put real money into I-League, and at that time they got a 4 crore sponsor, and they are trying to get a couple of co-sponsors to make it like 8-9 crores. That money is almost ISL level, and that shows that Mohun Bagan still commands a lot of respect in terms of its brand value. So, yeah, I'm happy that this has happened. It's part of the reason why they're making big offers to many players. And I just hope So a lot of the money goes in towards the renovation project that they have been talking about. Mohan officials, they say they're going to add 2 more floodlight stands and maybe construct an extra dressing room and referees rooms and maybe even play their I-League home matches in Mohan Bagan ground itself, which will be awesome. The experience in that ground is unparalleled. Even it's hard to describe when so many people are packing into that stadium and they're so close to the action. It beats almost any other stadium. Beats Barasat, beats Rabindra Sarovar any day. It will be awesome if that happens. But let's see how much of the sponsorship money ends up being spent on infrastructure.
Yeah, so let's see. I hope that the news comes out saying it's official and they have a new sponsor rather than saying, we missed out on we missed out on another sponsor news. Now moving on, Khalid Jamil is all ready to, he doesn't want to waste any time. Yesterday he met up with the officials, East Bengal officials, to have future talks about other signings and other work, what to be done and how do we go about all of this. So I think he's also starting to begin preparations at the Kalyani Stadium. Kevin, he's a man of action. Just get down to work.
He is a workaholic.
Yeah.
He just does not like to spend the time doing research and all. He likes to do things on the field. And look at the signings that they made. Yeah. They've already made their intentions clear that this is going to be the year for the CFL, and they're on a history making. They're on the verge of making history. Just another title, and this record is really long to be beaten then. And they've done all the right moves. East Bengal, they know whom to have in the team. They made all the possible players whom they wanted to retain in the core team stay there, and they're looking stronger. We hear about another signing about I suppose Willis Plaza also is being trying to be pursued to stay with them. This is great. Preparations as early as possible will really give you the team enough time to get together, and that's the best thing to start off with the tournament.
Yeah, Chiranjit, your thoughts on how Khalid Jamil is getting to action with East Bengal already with his preparations?
Yeah, so Kalyani is a traditional, pre-season venue for East Bengal, right? They go out there, they camp up, they get their team setting right, they can practice in relative peace because, less journalists will go out and pick at them. So it's always been good for them. They have done it over the last 3-4 years, and every time they have produced good results in the Calcutta Football League. So he wants, Khalid Jamil wants to start the camp by the end of this month. Sorry, not even by the end of this month. Maybe in a week or so, and just get down to it right away, and have a good couple of weeks of solid preparation before the Calcutta Football League gets underway in August. Right. And this time they're going to face a lot of challenges because Mohammedan Sporting is building a strong team. Southern Samiti have made some good signings. Even Mohan Bagan are
looking for a sponsor.
National level players, making offers to them, and this is not just for I-League. They want them there for even Calcutta Football League. So CFL, after a long time, because ISL is not taking away players immediately, and I-League clubs are willing to compete with ISL, at least some East Bengal and Mohan Bagan, to some extent in terms of getting some of the good players. So we are actually going to see a more star-studded Calcutta Football League than we have seen in the last few years, and that can only be a good thing.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
But isn't the ISL draft happening this month as well?
Yeah, the players who will go into ISL draft will probably not be seen in CFL. Right? You go into because the ISL draft is happening, I think, during CFL, so maybe some of the smaller CFL teams will take them for very less money if they go unpicked. Right? And if they get picked by an ISL team, forget it, they're not playing in I-League either. So I think what the I-League clubs will want to do is, after CFL, they will pick the unpicked, players from ISL dot for a very cheap fee. What we talked about in the episode, we discussed, the negative effects of the draft. So that's what will happen to those players. But if a player decides to go into ISL draft, there's a good chance they will not be seen in CFL.
Well, everything put aside, if we put the negative things aside, CFL looks like an exciting tournament to look forward to. Now, finally, coming down to now, there's news that 5 I-League clubs have written to AIFF opposing increase of foreigners. Well, we're not surprised. The 5 are leaving aside East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, who put the offer ahead. And we did see this in cards that the other teams will come out and protest against it, because finally the decision will be made by the federation, seeing how many are favor of it. So what do you have to say, Kevin, about it?
I think this is already something that we spoke about. The ones who are really concerned about the youth development, trying to get the local talent from the academies to the first team, will totally object to this, because in a way it becomes unfair to the other teams who are trying to get younger players, and you put up younger players against foreign players who are much experienced. It really makes it like more of one-sided affair. So that's the reason these clubs who've been promoting youth development and trying to bring up the youth players, local talent, will be the ones who are upfront saying we do not want the 8 foreigner in squad rule.
Chiranjit, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, who are the clubs who want 8 foreigners? It's East Bengal, Mohun Bagan and Churchill Brothers, because their Indian scene is not that good.
Okay. I think Churchill was the one who had a set of demands, and this was something that they just they said we've got a demand fulfilled. We are just fine to go ahead with this. So I think they were just going with the tide. It wasn't that they wanted or demanded like Mohun Bagan or East Bengal did.
Yeah, see, but even suggesting that is completely, I think they're failing the I-League if they're trying to increase the number of foreigners. I don't see any reason why I-League should get the number up from 4. Okay, it's 4, AFC says 4, keep it at 4. Don't complicate it, just keep it that way. The biggest problem with people who make these kind of steps is that they don't think ahead. They're not thinking that if I take, let's say, 6 or 8 academic kids into my I-League squad, rather than 4 or 5, just giving a little bit of extra chance to those kids may develop a long-term player for them. They're not thinking about that potential. They're not thinking about that, how it may pay off.
Yeah.
How a lot of I-League clubs did not like when AIFF said, play a junior player in the starting 11. They were subbing the player in 10 or 15 minutes into every game. But look, Azharuddin Malik developed. Even Mohun Bagan, who for one season just kept substituting the junior player, they came around and they signed Rainier Fernandez, and they've got Azharuddin Malik as well. So it's like later on they realized, okay, this can actually work for us if we go along this route. Right? It's the same thing that is happening to them. I don't know why, when everybody else, smaller clubs like Minerva Punjab or Chennai City FC or Shillong Lajong, they can see the potential in sticking to this rule and just coming up with new, better Indian players through it. If they can see the benefits, why can't these guys? And it's not like they won't benefit from having less foreigners as well. They will have a smaller budget, and despite however sponsor money they are getting, less budget is less budget. The less you spend on foreigners, the more you can spend on infrastructure, or improving your academy, and so that creates a permanent supply line for you. So in the long run, you save money. But this is the problem. It's hilarious how after being proven how wrong they are at it so many times, they still can't think beyond this one season. And that's why I think they're failing their own clubs. The East Bengal and Mohun Bagan officials who are asking for more foreigners in I-League, they're failing their own clubs. And I seriously don't know how this suggestion can be supported.
I think it's just insecurity by these Kolkata clubs. There's no belief that you have your own players who you've grown, if there is, that can be a winning side. And I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they trying to just because they were not included in the ISL? Are they trying to make I-League like ISL? They want to make like we'll have all the foreigners.
I think it's a completely. I mean, don't we all realize that I-League is a gone case? Yeah. After the merger, there won't be any I-League. Everybody knows that. As a merger is coming. So what is the point of trying to make a big deal or trying to make I-League imitate ISL? When ISL is lessening the number of foreigners and it's slowly coming to terms with what is actually good for Indian football and what is just empty piece of show business, why are you trying to imitate ISL in all the wrong ways then?
Yeah. For me, it's simple that the Kolkata clubs want to buy their way into winning the I-League. And what they believe is, if we spend more than the other teams, if we buy more foreigners, that is going to help them win the league. That is just sad.
It may actually backfire on them because
it will.
They will be getting the same kind of foreigners that they have been getting because they have some fixed networks in Caribbean and Africa and Australia and stuff like that. The likes of Shillong Lajong, the likes of Minerva Punjab may actually outdo them. They can get better players for a cheaper price, and it will. The whole thing may just blow up in their face. It's just not rational thinking what these guys are doing.
Yeah, well, we'll have to all wait and see how this goes about. Now, that brings us to the end of the show, but yesterday we had a lot of confusion among Kerala Blasters, but one final confirmation from the team that they have put up, which we would like to mention also, is that they've retained that under-21 player Prashant. The second name is kind of a bit difficult to pronounce, so I will leave it there. Well, if you see, they've tweeted an official Twitter handle. Kerala Blasters at the winger from Calicut as their first player. So they still have 2 players that they can retain from the senior level players. Now, there are a lot of confusion. We will confirm. Maybe, you never know once the show is out. By the time the show is out, you may get a confirmation. But still, we'll only talk about that once it's finally confirmed from the team. Now, that's all. It brings us to the end of the show. I hope you had a great time. You enjoyed the show with all the news from everywhere. Now, if you want to know more about it, you have to follow the TFG Football Twitter handle, and you can also read about all the stories on our website, thefangarage.com. If you're listening to us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, leave your comments, and you can also hit the bell icon so you get updates of our new episodes. You can also listen to us on Audioboom, SoundCloud, and various other podcasting apps. You can talk to us as well directly on Twitter, Chiranjit Oja, Boza_Kevin, Sujan Matthew 94. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy. Come back to us tomorrow because we're a daily show. Bye-bye.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started ATKT.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through ATKT.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. ATKT.in.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, ड्रिंक्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर जकरबर्ग है और द फैन गैराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप, सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.